G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today we are on Flankwoods to watch two Conqueror 3 players face off in a 1v1 ranked battle. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. A pleasure to have your company today. Let's get into it and introduce our players before we get into this map. Spawning in on the south side of the map in the color orange, playing as the Japanese, the OG Japanese, we've got Sliz. And on the north side of the map in the color blue, playing as the Tughlag Dynasty, the Delhi Sultanate variant civilization, we've got Sass. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a caster game and have a look at all these elephants, all these worker elephants, doing what they do best, gathering up sheep. Look at this bad boy right here, 5 sheep, 6 sheep in the early game, a huge amount of sheep here. And I think that's one of the great things about this unit, the fact that it's slow, but at the same time it's quick enough to go out and get that sheep, get those sheep, and well, it's able to be quite reasonable. I think that they should probably look at changing it though. I feel like maybe reducing the radius where sheep attract to it and maybe reducing the line of sight also might be a smart choice, because it does feel a little bit, I don't know about you guys, but I feel very, what's the word? I feel like I'm being intruded upon when, you know, I'm out here, I'm scouting out the map, and I see a worker elephant, and it's got like 8 sheep behind it. And then I see a worker elephant behind my town center, and I'm like, man, these worker elephants are oppressive. That's the word I'm thinking of. Where it's just like, you know, the Tughlag Dynasty just has the ability to gain so much in the way of sheep early on. So I guess that's, I don't know if that's necessarily a complaint that is worth addressing. But anyway, it's one of those little details that I've noticed. Let's talk a little bit about what we can expect, though, today, because with Sass on the Tughlag Dynasty, he's a Conqueror 3 player. He's very talented when it comes to his abilities to control these civilizations, so make sure you check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch him live. And by the same token, we've got the Japanese here, so not necessarily an OG civilization. They weren't around in the very beginning of Age of Empires 4, but we've had them for a couple of years now, so we'll get away with calling them an OG civilization here. So no real changes to mention for the Japanese. So I think our focus will largely be on Sass in the north of the map here. So we'll check what kind of age up he's going to be going into and whether or not it's going to be the Dome of the Faith. Let's take a look and see. Age up about to happen. It's the Dome of the Faith. No real surprises coming out there. I think one of the troubles that you've got if you go into the Tower of Victory, especially as the Tughlag Dynasty, is you're very much forced to play, well, not forced, but if you want to get value from the landmark, you're very much having to play into a certain style, a style around elephants. And you don't always want to play into, or be forced to play a certain way. We've got the Kura Storehouse coming up on the south side of the map as well here for our Japanese player. Now, I'm not sure what the best way to pronounce his name is. I'm not sure whether or not it goes, if it's meant to go forwards or backwards, because it kind of looks like it's meant to. Is it Zilsi? Zilsi, maybe? S-Liz? There's a part of me that just wants to call him Slither, but anyway, no, I'm thinking like Slither from Heroes of New Earth, which was Venomancer, for anyone who played along with that. But no, look, we'll just go with the Japanese player. I think that probably makes things a little bit easier, so apologies to you, S-Liz. You know what, we could just call him Sliz. We'll just call him Sliz. I think that's fine. The slithering snake will allow it. Anyway, let's check in with these numbers here. So 14 herdable sheep coming in now for Sass. Does he have any more? Yeah, he's got another 8 out here. So he's looking at 22 sheep for him compared to his opponent who's sitting on 12. I mean, it's not bad, honestly. If you've got 22 versus 12 sheep, obviously it feels bad. But then when you also consider the fact that all of these worker elephants have been out here doing work, like you can appreciate it, you can understand it, and you can justify it. So I think that that's absolutely fine. Sliz will be happy with that one. Anyway, age up's coming through very slowly on the side of the Japanese here. 1 villager on the Kura Storehouse. So is he going for a second TC? Doesn't look to be the case here. What is the game plan here with only 1 villager on the age up? That is a really slow age up. Normally, you'd be looking at 2 vills on the age up if you want to go for a second TC, which is about the biggest investment you can do. So the fact that he's got 1 almost signals to me that, you know, it takes me back to, I remember a game I casted of GUA versus Maito, where GUA had 1 villager on the age up, and he was playing English, and I think he was going for a council hall, and he was going for a fast castle, and he was just like, I'm just going to leave 1 vill on the age up, because by the time the landmark is completed, I'll be ready to age up to castle age. And that was the decision-making process. But anyway, on the side of Sass, what have we got going on? We're right on board with him now as the stable is coming up here. Definitely not going to be looking at professional scouts, not when you got this much in the way of food here. Always obviously an option, but quite expensive here for this civilization. could be looking to get some potential raider elephants out here. Scout on the other side of the map, spots out the enemy position, sees the villagers on gold. When you see that many vills on gold, that looks like quite a bit of vills on gold there. Almost certainly is going to be a fast castle coming through here. So that's what I would be expecting. Now, one thing to notice as well, you've got the outpost here, but even with this outpost on the gold, I don't know if it's necessary, considering look at how much the town center is covering on this gold vein. But undoubtedly at this stage, you see that and you're definitely getting confirmation. Okay, we've got a fast castle coming through. So that's going to mean looking at potentially contesting relics with the floating gate. I doubt we'd be going into the Temple of Equality, but it is a consideration that we will have to consider. First of the healer elephants coming out now for SAS. Making its way down here, we've also got the first of the raider elephants now out. Not looking to focus on the economy. Primary thing here is looking to get aggressive early on for him. He's got actually a lot of villagers, or a lot of gold stacked up here. What's his plan? He's going into +1 ranged armor straight away, so we'll be able to go from 1 up to 2 ranged armor. That's almost an instant upgrade as well. Feels very nice to have that. You can see the town center is going to start working this down. 6-minute age up there for Sliz. Not too bad as the second elephant comes through with the horse, or with the scout as well. So we're all going to start sieging it down. Now keep in mind the healer elephant will be able to heal itself up eventually as the spears make their way, or rather the first spear makes its way out. Scout gonna go down though. Heals did come through, but it's not gonna be enough. And now the elephant just gonna slowly work it here. He's doing a good job of microing with this spearman, just making sure he never commits. Second spear now gonna be coming out as well. And as long as he's getting damage on the spear here, he is winning this battle. That's the other thing to remember. He can easily escape away from these spears, go and heal up, and then come on back. Of course, you've got to be cautious about that critical mass being reached of the spears. Once you're up to about 5 or 6 spears, you can very easily get those pincer maneuvers where you manage to secure or lock down elephants in place. So you do need to be cautious about it. We now start to see the archery range coming through. SAS perhaps looking at going for a bit of a feudal all in here. And it's definitely a civilization that you can get away with it. The Tughlag dynasty, very powerful in the feudal age. And of course, these healer elephants definitely feel that way. I tell you what, the first time I played against the healer elephants, as I showed in one of my previous videos, I was very surprised at the amount of damage they were able to do and just how effective they are when it comes to healing. And you can see now, despite the fact that we're retreating away from this, we're also healing at the same time, and boy doesn't that feel good, being able to heal and being able to move at the same time. More raider elephants coming out, 4 archers in queue. He's definitely going to need them here, and you can see meanwhile behind this we've got more spears coming out. Yeah, there is definitely an intent to age up here. Those elephants can't stop them barking, but I tell you what, you can definitely turn them down. I'll turn them down a little bit for you. I don't know whether or not they're loud in your guys' ears, but they're loud in my ears, so I'm definitely going to do that. That is way too many spears. You can't be messing with that many spears. There's no point in even trying to do damage with that many spears, because the trouble that you're going to have is if these spears do attempt to get us around, they will absolutely get us around. So you can see Sass doing his best now to continue falling back. First of the archers is out here, and I don't even think you can kill this archer right here with the spears that you've got, unless you get that full surround, just primarily because the heals from the healer elephants is going to be incredible. But it looks like Sass unfortunately leaving the archer a little bit, well, not really paying attention here, and he does get surrounded. Sliz doing the right thing and finding that move from his opponent. Let's check back in on the side of Sliz though and see how he's doing, as we do have some farms slowly coming up around this landmark. Age up about to be dropped down. There it is, the floating gate now with 11 villagers coming up for Sliz. He'll be looking to try and pick up relics. Now keep in mind, on this map, relics are all centrally located. You've got 5 relics here, all very easy to secure, as long as you've got the ability to contest with units. So expect to see those mounted samurai coming out shortly. The Yorishiro undoubtedly about to be put into that stable. We can see it now being thrown up. So Sliz knows exactly what is up in this situation. And I gotta say, it feels like, you know, despite the new patch coming out, when it comes to the Japanese, this strategy is just such a great strategy. It is one of these simple strategies that just works so effectively. The fast castle, the Yorishiro in the stable, picking up all the relics, and just using the mounted samurai so effectively through this mid-game. You can expect to see it coming out now, and I would be surprised if Sliz doesn't pick up all 5 relics here. Let's check back in over on Saslo and see how he's doing, as we've got Compounder the Defender that is coming up now for him. Compounder the Defender is going to allow him to have more affordable Tughlag forts. On top of that, it'll be, I think it's also, I don't know whether or not you get cheaper upgrades on your Tughlag forts, but I will say it definitely feels nice having that. Also, the ability to get that extra level of upgrades is quite nice in certain circumstances, especially what I'm thinking about is the food gathering. I do like that because you actually get some extra stone that comes in on that final level, so always something to keep an eye out for. But we'll have to wait and see how he looks to play it out, because at this stage of the game, we're just keeping it very simple. Nothing too crazy going on here. No second town centers. All of the things looking very standard here. We do have the archery range up as well, so crossbow transition should be relatively easy here for Sass. And I'm curious to see what kind of composition he goes for when it comes to military in the Castle Age. Age up now about to come through at the 10-minute mark here for Sass, and we can hear that sacred site now being captured by our healer elephants. He's got them on both of these sacred sites. Now, of course, you can't pick up your relics with your healer elephants. You do have access to the imams through the Dome of the Faith, but unfortunately, it doesn't look like he's gotten any early ones out. Actually, we do see one of them out here, but the mounted samurai, together with the Umabenaman, going to be chasing them down, has indeed spotted them out and says, hey, no relics. No relics for you, my friend. Go on, get out of here. And indeed, he heads on out. Sacred site now going to be slowly worked down here, as the Bannerman also gets involved. And relics, well, Sliz is doing a wonderful job of starting off the game in the right way. We see him bringing back the relic, just putting it next to the floating gate. He's not going to put it in the bag for the moment. He says, we're just going to hold on to it. One relic has actually been sniped away by his opponent. Sass actually picking up a single relic, the one from the middle of the map, I think it was. Yeah, this one right here. So a little bit of a misplay from Sliz. Sliz definitely had the military numbers to be able to defend this. I think he probably just got a little bit too involved with chasing units away. But underneath the town center, he looks like he's going to commit here. If he can keep his opponent in the base, the Wallalol attempt is going to happen right now. He decides he's going to fall back. Spearman still underneath. Oh, no, not the Mounted Samurai. The Mounted Samurai managed to get out just in time. Boy, oh boy, that was a little bit scary. They got the message a bit too late to attack into that Imam. But with that relic now, it's going to mean good things here for Sass. He's been able to deny one away from his opponent. And the Japanese are very difficult to deny those relics from. I'll say that right now. The Mounted Samurai, they come out of the gate swinging very, very quickly. Let's just put it that way. War Elephant living strong, and at the end of the day, Sliz runs away with the tail in between his legs and says, okay, where do we go from here? Well, the answer to that question is a simple one. He's going to look to try and pick up all of the relics on the map. How many has he got available still? We've got this one just down in this position. I don't know whether or not he's scouted it, so we'll have to keep an eye out on whether he picks it up. He's got more Mounted Samurai coming out into the middle of the map. The Shinto Priest now going to be looking to pick up an additional relic here. Now, keep in mind, inside the base, he's already got one. I see one relic back here. There's the second relic that's coming back. You've got the third and then the fourth. And then, of course, in the middle, we've got more Mounted Samurai looking to try and stop these Imams. He's doing a wonderful job here as well. There's another one that falls down. He's now moving back towards the enemy base. Once again, he could look to try and take out that Imam. Honestly, I'd just be going for the Imam. I wouldn't even be going for the units at this stage. Just trying to always work around and hit that Imam, because we know the truth. That Imam is potentially going to be picking up those relics, and we want to do everything that we can to deny them from the opponent and secure them for ourselves. So Sliz starting us off very nicely here. 2 relics in the hand at the moment. 3rd relic on the way back. 4th relic. We don't know whether or not he's got eyes on it, but we'll keep an eye out for him and see. I am a little bit worried here, because at this point, one of these Shinto priests should have moved over in that direction. So there's a part of me that thinks maybe he hasn't spotted it. Now, has Sass spotted this out? Yes, Sass has definitely spotted this out here. So he's going to make movements down towards that position. We can see the Imam is looming, and perhaps Sass is wondering, why hasn't Sliz taken it? Is he baiting me? Is he just trying to get me over into this position so that I can potentially take a bad fight? But he spots the relic out. He doesn't see any military units about. Thinks maybe I'm just going to get lucky. Maybe I'm just going to walk away with this relic into the stealth forest and no one's going to know the difference. And indeed, that may be the case, because if we look from Sliz's perspective, he's none the wiser. It's just one of those unfortunate little things where it doesn't pop up on the minimap, so you never see it, and because you never saw it, well, you never knew it was there. And Sliz is just probably left wondering, going, man, I hate that sometimes these maps spawn with 4 relics instead of 5 relics. It really sucks, man. I should have gotten all the relics this game. Ah, damn. When the reality is, he got a bit of a bad shake of the sore spotter. We'll say that right now. Especially, I think, later on, he might come across this and go, wait, there was a wagon here all along, and I just missed it. Speaking of units in the fog of war, though, we've got the Lancer making its way through. He's going to get spotted out here. Outpost well and truly seeing it. Meanwhile, Mounted Samurai head back onto the other side of the map, see the crossbows, and decide that is the wrong time and the wrong place. Meanwhile, to the south, Villager goes down. Double sprinkled in placement here. Should be easily able to defend against this Lancer. Checking in towards the front. Mounted Samurai number starting to build up here at the 14-minute mark. He's up to 9 now. Quite a few Mounted Samurai working their way through upgrades on the way as well. We've got ourselves a new governor that's just arrived. Of course, it is the governor of Bakar that has arrived here. So this is going to be generating all that extra food, and also acts as your food drop-off location here. So I don't know whether or not this is done correctly. It definitely doesn't look like it, unfortunately. So he hasn't min-maxed this Tughlag Abad fort in its placement. So we're going to have to deduct points for that. But we'll give him extra points because this is by far, in my opinion, the coolest one, the governor of Bakar. Who doesn't like extra food being generated? Yeah, sure, it doesn't show up on the top of the UI, but hey, it shows where it really matters, income per minute. We'll give him a couple minutes to see how much he can push this up, though. At the moment, he's sitting on 850, so I suspect that's going to rise quickly over the next couple of minutes. Down towards the south, though. Shinto priest slizzes out here in the middle of the map, still trying to find that last relic. He's like, where is that bastard? I don't know exactly where it is, but we will find it eventually. Now, we see a bit of a mix happening. Yumi Ashigaru out on the map, as well as a couple of spearmen making their way towards the center. Now, have we got him doubling down here in the Castle Age, or does he look to go Imperial? That's always one of the options here with the Japanese, is the ability to go into the Imperial Age. The Taganashima Gunsmith is a powerful landmark, allows you, once you're up there, just really gives you a nice trickle of units that you can rely on. So it wouldn't be surprising to see him move into that direction. Veterancy coming through now for the Yumi Ashigaru, as well as some eco upgrades. We see double broad axe on the way. Meanwhile, on the other side, we do see the Shahi Walls upgrade going to be coming through for our Tughlag Abad fort. So we'll check in with Sass and see how he's doing. Unfortunately, as you can see here, this is a food drop-off location, but it is not a universal drop-off location. So it means he's going to be having to run all the way over to this worker elephant if he wants to get this on board. But our woven baskets have not been researched yet. A little bit surprising, to be honest, because this is a really good upgrade. This feels incredible to have this upgrade. The fact that you can drop off more resources than what you normally do, it's such an effective boost to your economy. So I think it's very much worthwhile looking to pick these upgrades up. Not the hugest economy at the moment, though, we'll say, for Sass. Still that 1 TC, only the 2 relics in the bag, 1 sacred site at the moment, about to become 0, as the sacred sites are being neutralized slowly by the enemy. Second Tughlag Abad fort now going to be coming down. I'm curious to see which governor he looks to play into on this position. I would be suspecting probably moving into, like, the technology discount governor. I think he's very, very powerful, the governor of Uch. I do like this a lot. Alternatively, which way do you go for it? Maybe you could look to go into the Emirs? Is that what they're called? Or the Ajmas, excuse me? We can double check and see which way he goes. Yeah, the governor of Ajma, I guess, could be an option for you. You could even go like governor of Multan. Wouldn't be terrible in a situation like this. Maybe if you want to drop a second TC, but Sass ain't the kind of guy to drop a second TC, especially not the kind of guy to do double TC with the defensive governor. But now, a couple of mounted samurai looking to try and make their way through underneath the town center. Repelled by all of these healer elephants and the war elephants there as well. More mounted samurai up towards the north. We don't see any decision yet with regard to governor. Lancer's now going to be coming through. Never a favorable trade, Lancer versus the mounted samurai. Mounted samurai obviously very favorably trading with their deflective armor. Makes them powerful in this situation here. Able to deflect entire attacks from those lancers. Has he decided on a governor just yet? No, he hasn't. He's going for the Curse of Aluya yet. Or rather, the Curse of Oilia? Ulia? Orlia. I feel like it's Orlia. Anyway, we can worry about that another time because we got mounted samurai to worry about right now as they make their way towards the front. Yumi Ashigaru teeing off on the back. +1 attack, not yet through. So it means this damage is not really going to be that hot. Only 6 damage here coming through for this army. And slowly, it feels like the Japanese army is beginning to crush the army of the Tughlag dynasty. Sass going to have to fall away back towards the main town center here. You can see him struggling as these healer elephants are starting to go down. The war elephants need to make their way to the front. And you can see, unfortunately, we've lost another healer elephant. Another one almost certainly going to go down. This is a bad spot here for Sass, as Sliz is doing a wonderful job. And you can see how slow he has gone indeed for the governor of Ajma. The governor of Ajma for the powerful emirs. But remember, the further they get away from the fort, the slower and worse their stats get. So it can be painful watching these guys try and defend. It's a bit of an awkward spot that he's put the fort here as well, because you want to kind of run these guys around, and then by the time they get out to here, you can see how slow they're going, 0.75 movement speed. So yeah, I think ideally for a Tughlag Abad fort, going for that, you'd probably want it maybe a little bit closer to the front where you're defending. But it does look like he may get some value out of these units here as everybody jumps inside. Of course, these units are free. They do train every 20 seconds. They pop out automatically, so we can see it popping out right there. Now, keep in mind, he's got Ulia, which is designated by this little thing right here. And basically what that does is just reduces the amount of siege. We can see it right here. It reduces the attack speed whenever you're attacking the fort. So it will slow your attack speed and effectively increases the health of the fort by just reducing the attack speed of the units attacking it. So basically extending its life out. That's the way I see it. But now, for the moment, he survives another day. He's lost quite a few villagers in this situation. I'll say that right now. So the question is, how does he bring himself back into this game? Because it definitely feels like it's slowly slipping away from him. It feels like Sliz is definitely doing some work here. And take a look at the walls that we've got coming out from Sliz right now. He looks like he's almost inspired a little bit from, excuse me, I can't remember the name of the map. What is the name of the map with all of the stealth forests everywhere? Dude, I'm not going to pause the game. It's called Stealth Forest Mania. It's called, excuse me. I can't remember. I apologize. I did actually, I went to my neuro. I got checked out again today. And he's like, I think you're in the clear, buddy. I think you're okay. You don't have early onset dementia. So we've got that going for us. Now we just need to work out why we're forgetting all these words. Because that's a little bit of a worry. I don't know why I'm thinking red. Give me a second here. Hold on. This is going to kill me. Okay, I just looked it up. It was Highview. I don't know why it was taking me so long to remember that name, but anyway, these walls are reminding me somewhat of Highview, the way that we see these walls coming across. Normally when it was Highview, you'd see players connecting all the wood lines because there was often quite a lot of wood lines that were happening, whereas here it's just like, okay, we've got some very natural landmarks that are going to be preventing movement, so we can utilize those as well. And rarely you would see players avoid walls on a map like Highview. I think the primary reason why it happened and why we see it happening here is because of these stealth forests. It just feels very difficult knowing that you've got stealth forests on the flanks, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to see units before they start attacking you, so you might as well just wall off your flanks, and I think that makes sense. Now, the army continues moving forward. Quite a nice mix that he's got here, also moving into the Onimusha as well. Mounted Samurai will get cleared up. He's got a beautiful little defensive base towards the back here. And now once again tries to move past, and you can see we've got the Kubara, yeah, let's go with that. The boost coming through for the Onimusha. Jeez Louise, I tell you what, I'm losing it. More and more every day I feel like I'm losing it. But don't worry, we'll find it eventually. We'll find it eventually. Look at the amount of units that are out right now for Sliz. He is looking very scary as the rally point makes its way to the center of the map. Yumi Ashigaru number is increasing, and we got +1. We got +1 at the very least. We'll take that. Ideally, if we could get +2 and we got 27 archers out, that would be ideal. He's got +2 ranged armor, so we'll give him that, but does end up losing the Tughlag fort. And with that, a defensive outpost for the Tughlag dynasty goes down. It's disappointing to lose one of those Tughlag forts, because ideally you want to try and progress towards a stage where you've got all 6 of them up at the very least, so that you can have all those governors, and then eventually look to potentially pick up that final Hisar Academy madrasa in the end game. But now he's dealing. Have a look at this. We've got Emir warriors that have just made their way over towards this position, slowly sieging this down. Have they still got 17 torch damage? They do, indeed, but they go down very quickly to the mounted samurai. The re-wall will be coming through shortly. Oh no, say it ain't so. Warwick gets himself a kill. That's number 1. Dude, I tell you what, I've noticed in the games that I've been playing recently, the wolves get a lot of kills on my villagers. I shouldn't say a lot of villagers or a lot of kills, but they get a lot of damage that comes through. You just don't realize it's happening. Like, you got other stuff going on, and then by the time you realize, it's like all of your villagers are dying. So it can be painful, but war elephants now beginning to move forward here. At the same time, we've got the archers teeing off from the Tughlag dynasty. 36 archers at the moment. More Yumi Ashigaru being added in. Has he cleaned it up? Yet still hasn't cleaned it up. We could see ourselves a potential second villager kill coming in here. And keep in mind, this does actually go on the UI, I think, when we've got a worker kill here. So we'll have to make sure that we pay attention. He's definitely not doing that down here. Look at this. Wolf just going absolutely ham. Oh, he's finally realized! With 2 health left. With 2 health left. Meanwhile, towards the front, we've got ourselves ballista elephants out. Ladies and gentlemen, the one true counter to any melee infantry unit on the battlefield here. And now Yumi Ashigaru moving forward. He's trying to focus down the archers on the backline. I don't know if I agree with that. It's kind of hard to focus them down, but I mean, what other options have you got? You could look to try and focus down the war elephant with 7 armor, or the ballista elephant with 4 armor. It's probably the best bet in this situation, but now the Onimusha doing their best to slowly slowly wither the storm here and whittle down the opponent. But at the end of the day, the Ballista Elephant stands strong. We're up to 4 now. He continues adding more and more to the cause as the 4th one makes its way through. It's been a non-stop action game in this matchup here. The Tughlag Dynasty, the Japanese. I think for me, the question is, who wins in the late game? And often when it comes to the late game, I'm looking at the Japanese and going, I'm very excited about like the samurai, right? Like the samurai is really good. And then all of a sudden, you've got the Tughlag Dynasty, and you've just got this combo breaker of the Ballista Elephant. Because you like Springalds, right? I like Springalds. Everybody likes Springalds. They're good fun, but they're slow, they're cumbersome, they're not easy to maneuver. If they get caught out of position, you're kind of dead. They don't have a lot of health. And then all of a sudden, you put them on the back of an elephant, you give them a whole bunch of health points, and you just laugh as the enemy tries to mass up samurai. And, well, they can't even really do it just simply because of the existence of this unit, because this is just an incredible unit when you think about it, right? It's got so much going for it. It's got that high movement speed. Unfortunately, we don't see a lot of the upgrades that it's got today because we do have the Compound of the Defender, so we do miss out on a lot of those unique upgrades. We don't get that extra movement speed, that out-of-combat healing. Actually, I don't even know if it's out-of-combat. I think it just might be healing in general for elephants, but we still get a powerful unit, the Ballista Elephant. So I'll be looking out this game to see whether or not we decide to add in more on the side of SAS. I suspect we probably will, though. Another Tughlag fort has come down over on this western position. Has he not gone into a governor? Well, he's gone into a governor. We can see on the front there. He's got the little prayer going. Excuse me. The governor is Sawan. So relics and sacred sites generate 20% additional gold. So he's got 2 relics at the moment. No, the 1 sacred site, excuse me. I was going to say no sacred sites. So he is definitely generating a little bit more resources by doing that. You've also got the extra healing that's coming through, if I remember correctly. Yeah, healer elephants gain 10%. Oh, units healed by the healer elephants gain 10% extra damage for 10 seconds. So quite a bit. Now, keep in mind that is very, very specific, though, unfortunately, because a lot of these units will be dying immediately after they get healed. Even that war elephant right there, as we get tramples that come through the back line, makes it all the way to the Onimusha. Onimusha now going to try and do their best to cut through this back line, but at the same time dealing with the raider elephants that have made the connection, saying, no, thank you. We don't care about the front. We're just going to go straight into the back. They've got a lot of health on these bad boys as well, 285. And keep in mind, we haven't even added in the governor of Jalor just yet. Don't worry, it'll come through soon, and we can go all the way up to the 3rd upgrade as well with this, so keep an eye out for the potential on more health on these raider elephants. That would be really cool to see here. I tell you what, those raider elephants really just upset this position. That was a big swing. I did not expect to see SAS pull that one out so quickly, but the raider elephants really shut down that position from the Japanese. And now Sliz, he's on the defensive here, adding in what appear to be a couple more mounted samurai in this situation. We've also got men-at-arms beginning to arrive here for SAS on the front. Unfortunately goes down. It was his only men-at-arms. Sacred site being neutralized, and now it feels like SAS has somewhat taken the lead with regard to the military position. Economically, Sliz is still ahead. However, it's an interesting game, isn't it? You can see he's got the Yorishiro in the TC. So he's producing villages pretty quickly. However, we don't have that secondary town center. There's no second TC. It's 28 minutes, and we've just both gone... we've raw dogged 1 TC for 28 minutes. It's a long time to go 1 TC, but at the end of the day, these guys know what's up. And the other thing to note is that the longer the game goes, the less of an impact that second TC is going to have, both from the potential value that it will give you, but also the impact that it will have on you and your immediate military numbers. Because obviously, if you do that at the beginning of the game and your enemy doesn't, you're talking about a lot of resources that your enemy can put into military. Whereas here, you're not, if you've got 10,000, 11,000 army value, chucking an extra 1,000 into TCs and villages isn't really going to do that much. But anyway, something to be aware of as the game continues on here. Now, we do have a number of stables over towards this right side of the base, and look, just as we were talking about it, there's that TC. So, as I mentioned, once you're up 12,000 army value, it doesn't really seem like a big ask just to throw 750 into a TC and slowly allow it to trickle in. Now, we do also have the use of the Compound of the Defender coming in here. Keep in mind, these walls are cheaper for SAS, so he's paying only 20 stone per wall. Is that normal? 20 stone per wall? That feels like it's 25. So yeah, it is 20% less, so slightly less than what you would normally pay. I wasn't sure if it affected walls, though. You can never be sure. Sometimes it will be unforgiving. Well, not unforgiving, but it won't always be straightforward. Let's just put it that way in what the UI says. Now, both sacred sites held by Sass in this game. And despite the villager lead in favor of Sliz here, there's a second TC. How long has this second TC been here? This second TC's already been upgraded as well. And it's got so many farms around it. How long has this second TC been here? And why am I so blind to a second TC? Is it just because it's a bit hard to see on the minimap? I apologize. I definitely wasn't just baiting you guys to comment, you know, at the 28-minute mark, Drongo talking about how no one's added in a second TC, while Sliz has clearly got a 25 villager advantage, and he's only managed to kill 5 more villagers than his opponent. There's no way that it could have happened because the Yorishiro is only doing 5 seconds. That's all right. It's all right. We'll get there eventually. We'll get there eventually. Unit numbers starting to look good, though, for Sass. I'll say that. I like his composition as well. The Raider Elephants are quite nice here. Falling away from this front. Let's check in with the Tughlag forts. Now, he did have additional forts coming up. I want to double check and see exactly which governors he's gone into. Of course, we've got the first one, the governor of Bakar, that's come through. The second one to the south, the governor of Sehwan. Which, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge fan of the governor of Sehwan. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice, but I feel like there's so many better governors that you could have. I guess at the same time, he's utilizing this Tughlag fort in a way that is acting as a defensive landmark or a defensive position, but at the same time trying to find leverage in that governor. But now we can see the spring, or rather the ballista elephants firing off. He's trying to do some nice stutter stepping right here. And we got ourselves a game, ladies and gentlemen, as the Yumi Ashigaru tee off on the back line. The Mounted Samurai trying to make their way through. Ballista elephant, let's try and keep the focus on them as the first one goes down. He's got a decent enfilade here, shooting across the front. Keep in mind, he'll do damage to all those units on the front as well here. And he's going to have to fall back, realizing it's probably a bit too much. Castle of the Crow now online as well will assist in the defense as the elephants begin chasing across the map. And now a bit of a standoff happens as the Castle of the Crow is online. It's in a beautiful spot here as well, firing down towards these elephants. It looks like Sass has decided it's time for the Castle of the Crow to fall. The elephants begin marching their way in towards it. The question's going to be about the defense from Sliz. Is he going to look to try and assist this newly built landmark here? Onimusha making its way up to the front gate. Decides against it. Castle of the Crow still got quite a bit of health on it. Oh, he's gonna pop it, but I mean, at this distance, you probably wouldn't make that much money on the trader anyway, so we'll allow it probably maybe a couple hundred if you're lucky. But oh, the elite upgrades have come through on the Mounted Samurai now. Sliz looking to commit to a big fight here. No elite upgrades for the Yumi Ashigaru just yet, but Onimusha are teeing off. I think the key upgrade here is definitely on those Mounted Samurai with their golden helmets at the front here, working their way through this large Delhi variant army, this large Tughlag army. But now, once again, it looks like he's been pushed back. The Japanese repelled by the Tughlag dynasty. Let's check in and see how these numbers are starting to look here. Apologies for whizzing that camera around so quickly. So at the moment, we've got Sass, who's really starting to look a little bit better in this game now, as the Imperial Age does arrive, but he's not really able to convert that into a solid military win. That's normally what you see, the Imperial Age, and then immediately after that, the upgrades into a beautiful fight. We didn't see that at all. Mainly because we didn't have a huge number of Mounted Samurai. We had a good number, but not a huge number of them. Ideally, you would have loved to have seen 20 to 30 Mounted Samurai in that big attack. So maybe was it just the fact that he went a little bit too early? It could be. Unfortunately, the Castle of the Crow has gone down. Trebuchet now going to be coming out as well to assist in any future defensive endeavors that the Japanese may consider this game. Let's ride on board here with Sass, as we also see he's gone into the Governor of Ajmer here for a couple of Emir warriors. That'll definitely help out in this forward position. Begins to make his way forward as well. There's the Emirs now coming out to help defend. But unfortunately, we're up against Imperial Age units here, and these stats are not looking the hottest. And a whole bunch of work elephants. He pops them to the front and says, this'll hold. This is a cool trick. I saw Louis MT do this in the game. He pops out the elephants and says, yo, 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 what's up? Where you going? Get on back here. And the worker elephants are able to convince him that this is not the droids you're looking for. These are different droids. These are elephant droids. You should not be looking here. Town center fully upgraded. We hear those rockets landing on the elephants. There's another one right there onto the war elephant now. And Sass has got himself a really good position here. But there's still a part of me that worries, because it feels like not substantial damage or insubstantial damage, insignificant damage has been done to Sliz. I feel like Sliz has still got everything going for him at this stage. Sass is struggling. He's got that second TC in the back. It's kicking out villages, but he's still sitting behind about 20 vills at this stage. the Imperial age difference is also, you know, making up quite a bit here. Population-wise, these guys were identical. 177 versus 177. Spearman upgrade has now come through as well, so they've got themselves a little bit more in the way of reach here. Able to take down these Raider Elephants. We still don't see them with that extra health coming out just yet, but I suspect that may be changing in the near future as Sass says, you know what? If there's one way that we could potentially win this game, it is with elephants. And I think the best thing that you could do is look for like a Ballista Elephant, Raider Elephant combo. That is such a sick combination, and it just works. It just works, right? Like, what's the counter to cavalry? Spears. What's the counter to spears? Ballista Elephants. That's it, and we can see them now doing their work. The dream combo here. All of the elephants are out. I think the only thing that we're missing here is a war elephant. No, I take it back. We've got 2 of them. He's got every single elephant right now playing a part in this offensive. The healer elephants are helping out the raider elephants, buffing up their health. They're going to retreat now back to the war elephants and the safety of the worker elephants, of course. But most importantly, behind them, we've got the ballista elephants, which are here ready just in case some spearmen decide to make their way down towards the front. Tughlag Abad Fort has come online. We can see no allegiance yet to a specific governor. So keep that in mind. We'll be paying attention to see exactly which way that goes, as we know pretty much, we suspect which way we know it's going to go. The governor of Jalor makes the most sense in that position that he's got there. Treb firing down as well. Oh my god, hey little buddy. He just scared the shit out of me. Hey little guy, how you doing? Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
All right, we're just, Daddy's doing a bit of working at the moment. Are you able to go out to Mum? Yeah, that's right. What do you see at the moment? What do you see?
Fire.
Yeah, you see fire. There's lots of fire in this game. Do not worry, my friend. All right, well, it looks like we've picked up an additional caster. I wasn't planning for this to be a duo cast, but ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Baby Drongo. He has officially grown up. He's now 3 years old. We're doing potty training at the moment, well, it's fun. It's fun. All right, buddy. Give me a sec, fellas. I'm just going to pause. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that one. And we've got some governors that have just come in. The governor of Ushk and the governor of Jalal has arrived. So it's going to mean all that extra health is now going to be coming through on these cavalry units. And there is plenty of them out here. That is for sure. Meanwhile, towards the south, look at the size of the army coming through for the Japanese. This is a scary amount. Hisar Academy is also going to be coming in here as well, generating that gold as well as that food for each active governor. So ideally, you want to be having all 6 governors active when that comes through. Big stone walls also going to be coming up as well on this map. Have a look at this. He's completely sealed himself in. It really takes me back to those games on Highview that we would often see. I guess this is the consequence of having those stealth forests on the edge. But now the Tughlag Abad Fort will be going down. This is the defensive one that he's got here, the governor of Ajma, towards the front. He's also got another one over towards this position. I'd love to see the numbers on these and get an idea. So fort improvement is 2 out of 3. It'd be really cool if there was a way to actually track this. Like, if we were able, you know how the Ottomans, how you can like click the button and you could see their vizier points? It'd be really cool if you could like click the button and then all their governors would come up and the associated level with each of those governors as well. That would be kind of cool. I'd love to see that. Look, I don't think it's going to happen, but it'd be very cool if it did. Meanwhile, towards the back here, Tughlag Abad Fort, we are sitting on, I think it's just the level 1 improvement, because the level 2 improvement requires gold. So this one right here, this is a base level. So I guess you could call that level 1, level 2. I don't know how the best way to say it is. You guys get the idea, though. Tughlag Abad Fort on the front now, under pressure here. SAS sitting at 198 population. Not a lot of resources in the bank. Have a look at the resources of the Japanese, though. I feel like there is a clear positional advantage right now for Sliz. The main thing for SAS is he needs to make sure he doesn't lose this army. He wants to try and take a defensive fight as much as he can, get some really good value here. Don't lose these units here on the front line. I would be backing the hell out of this right now. He's trying to squeeze them all through. Ballistae elephants, rather. They're trying to hold the line here as the giant wall of the Tughlag dynasty is defended by the Ballistae elephants. Spearmen crowd the door, trying to get through. Yumi Ashigaru deciding it's probably a good idea to get the hell on out, and indeed it is the right call here. Hand cannoneers also going to be added in, and these Japanese units get out and dodge because the elephants are coming. I tell you what, this is a huge amount of elephants that we've got here on the map. Let me fix that up for us. So we're all aligned here. And Sas doing a wonderful job on the defense there. He, importantly, didn't lose a huge amount of units. He lost units, but not a huge amount. And that's the key distinction here, is that he was able to keep a lot of these bad boys alive. And we can see them all healed up, still at full health here at this stage. So he's definitely looking good. The biggest mountain that he's going to have to climb is the fact that his opponent has got a huge bank of resources. So Sliz has just been absolutely cooking it up back home here. He's got a huge amount of farms underneath the town center, underneath the second town center. How many are we on at the moment? Let's take a look and see. He's on 74 farms, just a casual 74 farms. Not a bad amount, but Sass now moving away from the safety of his walls. Very dangerous. I will say that right now. Moving away from the safety of the walls is a big problem because it means that you could potentially be flanked. And that is what we see right now is we've got horsemen making their way up towards the north. Spear also doing it. So you can see immediately the reaction from Sass is that he's going to have to fall back here. He doesn't like this. He does not like it at all. And the worker elephant's going to try and block on the trebuchet. Find a little bit of success, but unfortunately not enough. And the worker elephants come up empty-handed here as the horsemen definitely feel good about themselves. They've gone in, they've done the assassination, and they've moved out like a hit squad from a rogue country. Not naming names. Don't hurt me. I was going to say something then. I was like, I'm not going to say that. I will remain quiet. Anyway, don't worry. I'm perfectly safe. We've got all sacred sites that are now once again on the menu. Both of them taken by Sass. Meanwhile, towards the center of the map, the elephants once again. Oh, this is the trouble. You're going to potentially get surrounded. Spearman moving towards the top. He reckons he can find a little bit of a flankaroonie here. Ballista elephants looking to line them up. He knows exactly what he needs to do. He needs to connect them. He needs to connect them all. And now he goes in for the kill shot. Manages to get off some decent coverage there. Spearman number starting to look a little bit worse for wear. But the real struggle that he's got is he can't see through these palisade walls. He's taken too long. It's too much of a struggle. I'd be getting all my war elephants to take these down. And you can see he's trying to work them down right now. Exactly what he needs to do, but look at this. Going all the way around here. Just to try and attack this damn bloody wall. Not a good time. Not a good time. Wall finally going down. And it's really important that you have these walls down because you can see, look at the struggle that he's got. He tells his units to go here and it bugs out the pathing completely. So you have to be very cautious about it. Now Ballista elephants once again going to try and defend as all the infantry make their way up through the middle. Meanwhile, we've got more units that are just sieging up the walls at the back here instead of attacking units on the front. Slowly, reinforcements are being added in, more spears towards the south, and this is the trouble when you're fighting into an enemy who's got the ability to reinforce and a bank to reinforce with as well. It's only a matter of time until they run over the top of you, but look at the ballista elephants. Into the meat grinder right now, these spearmen go. The ballista elephants are happily being defended by the worker elephants. He's found himself a nice little corner of the earth here, but unfortunately the first of the ballista elephants will go down. Not enough worker elephants to keep him safe. And now, somewhat using these walls defensively, we see Sass taking refuge in the corners of their remnants. More elephants make their way down the field here. Sass sitting at 184 on the population number. His opponent at 200. And honestly, this is a big mistake from Sass. Why is it a mistake? There's no siege. He needs more siege. He doesn't have enough siege. He's not able to take out these landmarks. And you're pushing into a player with a huge bank and a huge amount of production, and all they're going to do is just slowly wind you down. And that's exactly what we start to see happening now. Hand cannoneers making their way out as well. Ballista elephants trying to do their best to defend, but it looks like he's going to be overwhelmed here. And just remember, even if he's not overwhelmed in this fight, it'll be the next one where those reinforcements come through. And oh my god, my son's come back into the room. Somebody help me, please. Where is your mother? She's outside. Wonderful. Well, we got ourselves some elephants to look at here, little buddy. A huge amount of elephants being forced back here, but look at the hand cannoneer numbers as well. Not that hand, mate. Not that hand. Horsemen, spearmen, and look at the reinforcements. We got to check the numbers on this. I'm confident we are going to see, yeah, oh my god, look at that. That is disgusting right now. The Japanese never dropped below 199 pop. I guarantee you right now, they have just been reinforcing perfectly. How many is he on? How many production buildings? Look at this. More than 30 production buildings at this stage of the game, exactly where he needs to be. And now able to push down towards Sass. The other trouble that he's got, hey buddy, please don't play with that. Thank you. You come over here. The trouble that he's got is he's got no siege. It's that same problem that we had on the other side of the map. We've got no siege. We've got a whole bunch of units here. Unfortunately, no way to burn down these stone walls. And he's gone ahead and deleted units exactly like he should, and he's building battering rams in their place. You can see he's already back up to 199 population. I don't know exactly what he got rid of. It looks like it may have been some archers, potentially, which is probably the right call here. Thank you. Thanks, bud. He's just put a hat on my head. That is lovely. All right, well, we've got elephants now beginning to make their way over towards this east side of the map. Battering rams are complete. And he's going to start looking to put the pressure on. One of the things that I would love to see from Sliz... Yes, mate. Yeah, that's a fly. Yeah. Okay, we'll get it outside soon. Don't worry, brother. We will get it outside soon. One of the things I'd love to see from Sliz is bringing up some villagers just to put down some reinforcing racks right here. Just so that your reinforcements are taking slightly less time to get there. When you've got a bank this big, it totally makes sense to do. All right, well... Now, Spears managing to defend. Vils are going to try and keep it alive. The castle's coming up. And it's got a fair bit of health here. The only trouble is we've got no boiling oil. So it could be a problem. 146 health coming through for these raider elephants. So I'm suspecting that's biology together with maybe a little bit of upgrades from the Tughlag fort. What level are we sitting at the moment? I don't know if there's an easy way to determine that. I think we're sitting at... If level 1 is the base level, then we're sitting at level 2. Let's go. Let's say it that way. Battering rams now. Towards the front, a huge amount of elephants coming out as well. He's up to 27 raider elephants. Is that the only thing he knows how to click? It might just be the case here. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, we've got ourselves just a couple of horsemen making their way through towards the palisades. At the front, we've got a whole bunch of spears now. Now, keep in mind, these are no ordinary spears. These are your upgraded Japanese spears. A little bit more range and a lot more oomph. Hand cannoneer numbers starting to look a little bit scary as well. And you can hear all of those units now rallying through. I can see my wife. She's looking for my son. She's found him. It's all too late. It's reminding me of that video of the... I don't know if you guys remember the guy in China. He's like a correspondent or something, and his children go into his office, and the wife comes in, and it just looks something out of a TV show. It's just hilarious how it happens. Anyway, I'm somewhat being reminded of that. All right. It looks like we've got an evacuation in process. Wonderful. Hand cannon Ashigaru now. Hand cannon Ashigaru. What was that? Oh, it was a stampede. They all moved at the exact same time. He's going to try and stampede down the back line. Looks like he runs into a little bit of a problem. Vil's now going to come up, start looking to repair the Castle of the Crow here as well. Able to make the first of the connections. Hand cannoneers doing a decent job on the back line, but still these units have got a lot of health. God, that's a lot of health. 512 health. He's definitely going to have trouble here on the defense, and you can hear those reinforcements just plopping out. He's down to 190 population, which is surprising. Remember what I said earlier about having that extra... Well, what do we got? We got some traders coming out right now. Having those extra barracks on the front here for those reinforcements would just be so nice in this situation. Slows down the enemy, makes you have a bit more of a what's the word? A bit more of a stronger defense as they're coming through. But it looks like these raider elephants are surprisingly effective, even up against the spears. I like the fact that they used their stampede. Didn't really feel like they converted too much on it. Let's check in on the other side, because Sassy's 100% committing to the bit here. He's got 30 raider elephants with 6 more in queue. He is pumping them out non-stop right now, and here we've got plenty of ballista elephants, and he's going for it again, the charge, but you can see it looks like he's trampling up towards the front, but I don't know how many elephants we've got in here. Let's take a look and see. Oh, he's got 9 there in this little square right here. There's 15 raider elephants. I don't know what's happening to them, but that is definitely not a party I want to go be invited to, that is for sure. He's trying to work down the back with the ballista elephants, but he's definitely got a lot of trouble here. Elephant numbers are still looking good, but he's moving into a whole bunch of reinforcements. 33 spears in queue, still plenty of bank, lots of horsemen coming out. And honestly, this is the perfect Japanese position. It might not look good, but I promise you it's the best. The hand cannoneer defense, and slowly more hand cannoneers will trickle in. Keep that in mind. And then at the same time, we've just got trash coming into the front. That's all it is, just a whole bunch of trash coming into the front here and looking to defend, looking to try and stop these reinforcements. And it's only a matter of time before the attrition goes in favor of the Japanese, and we can start to see that military number now in favor of Sliz as he sits at 200. His opponent at 172, trying to reinforce. He's just committing 100% to elite raider elephants at this stage of the game, but the spearmen are too strong. The horsemen are too numerous. The hand cannoneers have not died. They've not been killed by that. He's got 50 spears on the field with 42 more in queue. Boy, oh boy, it ain't stopping today. The Japanese spam is well and truly on its way. He's also mixing in the Yumi Ashigaru as well, so he's really just looking to complement this with as much trash as he can. You can see them slowly working down the worker elephants at the back here with just a casual 625 health. But there's so much spam here. It's only a matter of time until we put the shoe on the other foot, maybe make a battering ram or two, and we ram it home down the middle on the other side. I don't see how Sass pulls it back from this, though. I really don't see it. There's not much he can do here, and I feel like this may be the trouble with the Tughlag dynasty. It's like, what do you make in the late game? Because there's a big part of me that thinks going springled or ballista elephant is absolutely the right call here, and it definitely works in this situation, but what do you complement that unit with? How do you fill out a late game army with the Tughlag dynasty? Because the way Sass has gone here, he's just tried to make full raider elephant work, and it obviously hasn't worked. He's been up against hand cannoneers that have just cut through him completely. The spears have defended well. The macro has been impeccable from Sliz here, and now at 100 population compared to the 6 on the side of Sass, it feels like almost certainly GG at this point. Now, we haven't mentioned it just yet, but I feel like it's probably appropriate to tell you that coming up on November 19, we do have the Outback Octagon returning, so make sure you check that out if it's not already out on November 19. It probably is when this gets posted. Maybe you'll be lucky. But anyway, make sure you check that out. Meanwhile, we're going to wait for this slow siege to happen. Sass reckons he's got a chance. I don't reckon he does. He's sitting on 3.8 thousand food per minute, which is a huge amount of food. But unfortunately, while it's a huge amount of food, your enemy's on a very similar amount of food themselves. 2,600 food per minute coming through. Okay, maybe not super duper similar, but it's a lot of food. And they're making spearmen. And now they're just clouding up the door, preventing you from coming out. And behind the scenes, we've got the sacred sites now being taken. Walls now starting to come up as well for Sliz here. Now, over on the each side of the map, he's got the stone walls up, or I should say on the east side of the map, he's got the stone walls up. So there's no potential flank through that route. I don't know how you win a Sass here, realistically. What's the play to try and win this? Do you go for a potential snipe? Is that the way you do it? I'm putting my legs up right now because I'm like, okay, we got to get comfy. If Sass isn't giving up in this position, there's a chance this game could run for hours. Because the way that, like, how do you win from this position as Sass? You don't have a lot of resources in the bank. You've only got a couple units. I think massing ballista elephants is definitely the right call. Maybe ballista elephants and mangonels? Is that a potential? Okay, well, the legs were up, but the game was over. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Sass taps out, and our victor today is the Japanese. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go check them out. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can watch them live. I don't know what the solution here was. Is, like, ballista and mangonel a potential for this? Maybe ballista and spears? I don't know. I'm going to have to think about it. Anyway, we'll leave it there, and we'll catch you in the next one.